What's up, my fellow gym rats? Today's subject, I wanted to talk about something that's quite annoying. It's just gym douchebags, things that are just douchebag when you go to the gym. One of the things is guys that go to the gym and they just prey on the women. They just go and stare at the women on the cardio machine. That's an example. At the gym I go to, I don't see that. The gym I go to, is pretty, I would say, wholesome. Pretty family atmosphere and everything like that. But I used to experience this when I used to go to goals. Certain things that were just annoying. You get nowadays. You get people on their Instagram. Sitting on a machine. They're too focused on themselves on their Instagram and not thinking about other people that other people might be waiting for the machines and this and that. And that's super annoying. When I'm waiting to go use a machine, I see somebody on their phone and listening to videos or interacting on their phone and instead of just going through their sets. That's really annoying. Another thing that's really annoying is when I'm using a machine or a cardio machine and somebody just steps over to my machine that I was just using. It's obvious that I'm using it. My stuff's over there, my water and my towel and whatnot, and people just come over and just start using it. And I'm like, hey man, don't you see that my stuff's over here? It's just common sense gym's etiquette. It's just common sense stuff. The other thing is, going to a machine or something like that or a bench and there's somebody sweat all over the machine. They don't wipe their sweat off. That's another thing. That's just common sense stuff. It's annoying. I don't want your sweat, you know, and then I have to go take time and go wipe it down before I have to use it. Please just wipe your machine down. It's simple. Just stuff like that. The other thing is, guys, this is such a douchebag move too. Guys, using a bunch of cologne where I can't even breathe. I'm at the gym and I'm trying to do my workout, and I'm getting overpowered with cologne, or women too with perfume and all that stuff. The gym is not the place to go pick up on women and females to go pick up on guys. I mean, it's not the place really. I mean, if you want to go do that, that's fine and dandy. But lay off the cologne and the perfume so people can breathe while they're working out. That's another thing that's really annoying. What is the other thing? Re-racking your weights. That's the other thing that's annoying. You go to a machine and I got to go. Machines aren't really a big deal because it's pins. That's not a problem. But if I'm going to use the leg press machine and it's stacked up with a bunch of weights, and someone just leaves the weight there instead of re-racking their weight, that's annoying. And that's something I do. Because it's not cool for the women. They have to go over there and they use maybe a plate or two, and then you got some dude over there. This guy 8 plates on each side, and they don't re-rack their weight. You know, that's annoying. These are just douchebag moves at the gym. This is the topic that we're talking about too. Um, the other thing, like I said, staring at the women when they're trying to work out. It's that's total douchebag moves. What's some other things? Oh, this one's quite annoying to me, and you don't really hear about it too much. Is when people are wearing, have their headphones on and they're sitting there talking to themselves, sounding like they're schizo, and they're grunting really loud because they cannot hear themselves because they have their headphones on. That is so annoying. I was on a cardio machine recently. This guy's just sitting there talking to himself, and he's super loud. He can't hear himself because he's got headphones on. I personally don't use headphones at the gym. I like the music that they play. It's my generation music that they play, and I enjoy it and I love it. And I get a good workout because the music is great. Um, so this is the topic for today. Like I said, it's gym douchebag material. So in the comment section, you guys can tell me what's douchebag moves at the gym. That's a big one. The grunting, and then guys. I mean, the gym I go to is not like a type of gym where you can drop your weights. They have special mats and stuff like that for powerlifting and stuff like that at certain gyms, and there's a reason for it. Or like, so that's basically it for my gym douchebaggery is what I call it. But in the comment section, like I said, you guys tell me what you think is total douchebag moves and stuff. Like the biggest one, I think, is the cologne thing. Guys just overpowering with cologne, and you're trying to work out. I can't breathe, man. And, it's annoying. You know, I'm gonna end this video. I've been trying to pop videos for you guys on a regular basis. I haven't popped one in a while. I was just kind of thinking about this. I did a short on it, kind of like gym pet peeves, and I just wanted to follow up on that video. And I also wanted to give you guys my progress. Right now, I'm in the middle of I'm trying to do a cut, but not super aggressive on it. I'm trying to drop some body fat, and get leaner, um, and seeing how I can go. I'm thinking maybe another 20 pounds or so, and see how lean I can get, and then just go from there. I was doing a recomp or whatever, but I'm not doing it super aggressively. I'm just trying to lose maybe a pound and a half to 2 pounds, a week or whatever, and occasionally I'll do a 24-hour fast. If I'm plateauing, I'll do that. Um, but I've just been doing the basics. Just keeping my carbs moderate. Not super low, not super high. Keeping my protein high, and just going from there. All right, you guys have a blessed evening. Peace.